Hey everybody, how are you on this glorious hot winter? Okay, so I need to talk about my experience with culture shock. I have not talked about this, I don't think, at all my videos. I think in my video about things I liked about Spain, things I didn't like about Spain, I kind of touched on it a little bit. But as you know, if you traveled to many countries, either to live for an extended period of time, you go through stages. Some of these stages might be good, some might be bad. So I just want to talk about a few things that shocked me when I first came to Spain. First thing I noticed is the way people eat. And I don't mean their eating habits. I mean, for example, when you go out with your friends, in the US, when we go out, everybody has their own plate of food. You've got your main course, your starches, and your vegetables. But in Spain, it's a little bit different. They have one big table full of food, different varieties of food. You order what you want, I order what I want. He orders what he wants, she orders what she wants, and then we all share it. And you actually get full faster. I had to get used to this because when I first went out, I ordered for myself and everyone's like, well, don't you want this? And I go, well, no, because I ordered this. And I didn't realize that we were ordering plates that we were all gonna share. So that was something completely different. Speaking of food, another thing that shocked me is that when I travel to various parts of Spain, I know people say, well, you know, it's different, and this part of Spain is different, and this part of Spain, and there's some truth to that, but there are things that Spain does similarly everywhere. So I'm kind of speaking in a more general sense. But restaurants, you know, in the US, you go to a restaurant and you wait to be seated. You know, you go there, you tell them, okay, I have 2 people, 3 people, whatever. Then someone comes and they seat you. Now, you may find some places like that here in Spain, but the majority of the time, you go and you find your seats. You go to the restaurant, you say, okay, I want to sit there, and you sit there and someone will come and serve you. I wish that someone told me this sooner because I was literally, when I went to a restaurant by myself for the first time, I was just standing there. I'm like, is anybody going to come help me? And then the guy was like, find a seat, you know, wherever you want to sit. Okay, so I've learned. Another thing that shocked me was the siesta hours. Now this doesn't apply to every establishment in Spain, but you do see it a lot. It normally is when the establishments, I can't even speak today, the establishments that I personally want to go to have siesta hours. This means that, let's say for example, a business opens up at 4, then they close, did I just say 4? They open up at 8 in the morning, then they may close at 2 in the afternoon, and then they'll reopen again at 4 in the afternoon, and then they close again at night. When you want to go somewhere, you have to check the siesta hours because it's not like in the US where we're just open, you know, from 9 to 5 or 8 to 4, whatever, and then, you know, in between someone's going on break, but then you always have someone else to cover for them. Well, it's not like that in many places here in Spain. So you have to make sure that if you want to go to this restaurant or to this store, make sure that they don't have siesta hours, but if they do, make sure that you get there when it's not siesta hours. The next thing I would say shocked me, and I said this in other videos, is the lack of personal space. Spain, like I said before in my other videos, Spain, they're very close-knit. So when they talk to you, there's a lot of touching. They like to, when they greet you, they kiss you on 2 cheeks. Now, a lot of this stuff would be sexual harassment in the US, like, seriously. But here, it's completely okay. And I really had to get used to this because I love my personal space, but now I'm used to not having any, so it's it's normal for me. I just have to watch myself. Should I go back to the US to visit friends, family, that I have to remember that I will be back in a country where they need their personal space. Other things that I would say shocked me is that, I don't know how to say this in a nice way. Spanish people are nosy. They like to know everything. It's so common where you walk down the street and you see people, especially older people, like grandmas, grandpas, but younger people too, looking at you through the window. They'll stare at you through the window. If they hear a noise, they have to go see what's going on. I'll walk down the street and I'll see like maybe the police is talking to someone, and everybody is like, and I'm just like, okay, you're just talking to them. There's like nothing. I mean, it's like someone robbed a bank and everyone's looking to see what happened. That's what the reaction is for everything, especially if there's like a police officer or something. Everyone has to know what's going on, and people will just stare as they walk, or they'll ask, what's that? What's happening? Especially on islands like where I am, in smaller villages, it's more common. One of my friends told me it's because people get bored and they have to know what's going on. So that's something that shocked me, because in the US, usually we don't care, but if it's something really, really big and it's on the news, then yeah, we kind of want to know what it is. But someone asking a police officer for directions, for us, it's nothing. And speaking of which, one thing I noticed is that when you get a text message or someone calls you, everyone wants to know who that person is. And it's not just like, when you are in a relationship, here, that happens. I get asked all the time, who's that? Who's that? And it's not just with my partner though, it's with friends too. And they'll do it with each other. It's like, you get a text message and they're like, and it's really funny, but I'm like, in the US, you cannot do this. It's like really rude, but here, everyone does it. It's like when you're at home and you get, your phone rings and then your mom is nosy and then she's like, wanting to know who it is and, you know, just the whole story. And it's like, Mom, it's none of your business. But here, everyone makes it their business. Moms, cousins, friends, partners, it doesn't matter. Everyone does. One thing that shocked me that I really liked, and I wish we had more in the US, is, for example, dinners or lunches. Spaniards tend to take this very seriously. They want to have dinner together or lunch together as a family every day. Is very important, especially in southern Spain. But I've seen it in other parts of Spain too. I had to get used to this because I have had complaints many times when I have eaten dinner or lunch by myself and everyone's like, you ate already? Why didn't you wait? Especially my partner when he comes home. So now I don't do that. But everyone likes to eat together as a family and talk about our day and what happened with you, how was this? And I'm thinking, wow, with my family, we maybe on Sundays or Saturdays we get together, we eat, but not every single day. But here it's very, very important. And one thing I noticed in southern Spain is that they like to dress up for everything, including when they have family dinners. And it's just something that I had to get used to, but I like it. I do. I think it's very important because I think the cultural dynamic here in Spain with families is very close, and I like it. And other things with family, it's like, it's so common to see fathers pushing strollers, carrying their children, you know, just like mom. And you see this picture perfect type of family. Although nothing is perfect, I know. but just the way it looks. And in the US, you see this in certain places, but in Spain, I've seen it practically everywhere I've been, and I'm like, oh, that's so cute. I would say the last cultural shock for me was my living situation. I've noticed that in every apartment that I've lived in, it wasn't well insulated. So basically, if it's hot outside, it's gonna be baking inside. If it's cold outside, it's gonna be colder inside. There's some times where I'm like, you know what, I need to go outside to warm myself up. And I feel that in some aspects, it's better because they don't have carpet here, which I don't really like carpet. Everything is like, you know, hard floor, but it doesn't help me in the winter. It's like, if it's cold outside, that floor is super, super cold. Other things about houses that shocked me was the water. You have to make sure that you turn the hot water on. And in my apartment in Madrid, I had to wait for the hot water. I would turn it on and wait like 10 minutes and then I can use the water. And then I had to hurry because I would run out of hot water. And I wasn't used to this because in the US, you know, you just turn your water on and take a shower and it's hot and that's fine. And other things too is that, now this doesn't apply to every apartment that I've been in, but quite a few, is that they will take 2 small beds and put them together to make one big bed. So when I lived in Madrid and Morojable, my bed, when I would sleep in the middle, the bed would always move like this and I'm like falling in between. I'm like holding on like to the side of the bed, trying to put it together. That was really annoying. But this bed is actually a full bed. So I was like, oh, thank God. Well, that's all the culture shock for me that I experienced. No, that is not true. One thing I talked about in my other videos is the way that they do their clothes. They wash their clothes, but they don't use a dryer. And they hang them up like my grandmother used to do. Now I'm completely used to it, but it was shocking for me because I've never done it. And there was times where I've dropped clothes, had to go run and chase my underwear, all sorts of things. But now it's nothing. But I still miss a dryer from time to time. Yep. All right, well that's it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Just remember that if you do travel, you will have culture shock. It's completely normal, but it goes away after time, so don't worry. And I would love to hear about your cultural shock experiences traveling to any country. So if you'd like to share them, please leave me a comment. Give me a like if you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. Hasta luego.